Hello and welcome to our new episode. It's already the 4th episode of Revell Model Kit News for October, and I start again with Luke here, or not here. Luke is in England again, right?
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, back in England. I think last time we recorded I was over in the German office. Glad to be back in my home with a nice toasty plinth heater beneath me and not having to travel. So that's always good.
Yeah. And first of all, I would like to tease you a little bit to watch the whole episode because our colleague Stefan gave me a nice code, a coupon code for the shop, which we are going to hit in the episode. I think we could put it in 2 or 3 places and sections because I read in your feedback that some of you skipped the car part or skipped the plane part, which is totally fine for us. But we hope we have some interesting products for you here in the show again. And, since Luke is on here as the first guest or my first conversation partner, we start with things that fly.
Well,
So
I have no problem with them skipping the car part, but if you skip the plane part, you've gone down in my estimations.
Yeah, that's just show us the cup again.
Yeah. Really on brand, and to give a plug to the Ulster Aviation Society as well, which gave me the mug. So thank you.
Nice. So I will share my screen. And this is what we have this month. We switch a little bit again in how we present the products. We will feature 1 or 2 a little bit more, and then Luke will give us a little peek on what's coming, so that we are not getting that long again as last time where we hit the hour. So the first thing is some save the dates, because November is going to be the Faszination Modellbau in Friedrichshafen from 1st to 3rd of November. Then the week after, 9th and 10th of November, we have Telford in the UK, and then we have our factory sale on the 23rd of November. It's 3 days before my birthday. Haha. So if you would like to come to Bünde, then feel free to visit us and grab what you can. There are really, really great offerings at the factory sale. So you are going to be in Telford, Luke, right? Well, if somebody would like to say hi, then they have to come to Telford.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there from the Friday through to the Monday. Maybe don't talk to me so much on the Friday and Monday when I'm packing down the stand or setting up the stand. But definitely Saturday and Sunday, come say hi. I'll be there dressed in blue at the big Revell stand. So come talk to me, either to chew my ear off about what models we should be making, what we've done wrong, what we've done right is always nice to hear. Anything you have to say, it'd be nice to hear from you. We'll have lots of models on display. We'll even have some new items to show you. So yeah, come along. It'll be exciting. It's my favourite show of the year. There's quite a few to pick from. The Friday and the Holiday Inn the night before is always good, with socialising and maybe having a few drinks with old colleagues and friends. So yeah, come along. It'd be good to see you at Telford.
So put that in your calendars. Yeah, and then we have a little bit of feedback from the community about last month's show. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the first one from Stuart Steele here. What about the F-30 canopy?
Yeah, so I think last show we were talking about the F-35 and showing some new details. We've also put out a blog showing the parts since then, the plastic, and people would have seen that the clear parts potentially, which are currently just clear. So obviously the real canopy is not tinted. The real canopy is tinted. So what we'll be doing is running a few tests. At the moment, the tooling's in China, so we can't run the tests on the actual F-35 clear parts. Luckily, we have tinted the canopy before in the F Raptor So what we'll be doing is running multiple color tests using that clear frame with differing levels of yellow tint and sort of smokiness. And we're hoping to discuss it as a team, maybe put it out to a public vote to see what works best. It's quite a subtle thing, or quite subjective, because depending on what way you look at the canopy, it can vary in shade. It's a sort of radar absorbent coating that it has. So yeah, we're running tests. Interestingly, as we're recording this, I was talking with the team today about it. So hopefully within the next week, so before this goes out, we should have probably about 5 to 10 different samples that we can review as a team. And if we really can't split them, maybe we take them to Telford and ask for the audience's feedback.
We talked about we really need some more 1-32 aircraft kits. Have you something in the drawer for that as well?
Yeah, 32nd is a big scale for us, not just in size, but in terms of popularity. Meteor is obviously the one that's being developed for next year, and we've already done a bit of announcement material and marketing around that. But don't worry, there'll be more kits. I can't promise it's a Dornier 17 or a Hudson, but we'll have more 32nd scale kits in the pipeline, that's for sure. But you really have to twist my arm to get me to tell you. But yeah, unfortunately I can't. I'd be shocked if I did.
Yeah, great to see the progress on the Meteor. And can you tell him a little bit about this as well?
Yeah, a bit like the previous response. I can't tell you what's coming. All I can say is thank you for the suggestion and watch this space, because you might be happy or you might have to go on waiting another year. But thank you for the comment, and we'll see what we can do.
And Beograd has a little bit more luck. He asked about the BAE 146-200 in a Air UK livery.
Yeah, so it's on its way. It's been a bit delayed on the water, so it will be with us before the end of the year. That's for sure. We've had to order the shots in from our factory in Korea, so it takes a while to get around the world, especially with the stuff going on around Suez at the moment. So ships have to go around the Horn of Africa essentially, which is causing delays. Ironically, the BAE 146 in the Air UK livery was one of the first products I was involved with when joining. It was a nice way to announce the English bloke or the UK bloke that had arrived in Germany to release an aircraft with a big Union flag on the back of it. So it is coming, but towards the end of the year now. So hopefully November, slipping into the start of December is where we're looking to get it delivered.
So then we have our first 2 products, which are the Flying Bulls, the Cobra and the Corsair. What can you tell us about those 2?
Yep, so these are products we've previously released before in the Flying Bulls livery. I was lucky enough to head over to Salzburg, where Carrera Revell, the group we're part of, have an office. At the airport, Red Bull essentially have their own air force. So if you're a bit of an aviation geek like me, it's amazing. You can go and visit the hangar they have, but also I was lucky enough to go over the other side where they have a maintenance hangar and also get to sit in a few things. And it's great. We're bringing out these 2 products towards the end of the year, the Cobra and the Corsair. But we might have another 2 coming in 2025 as well. So these feature the sort of amazing decals, especially on the Cobra, which cover the whole aircraft. It's unique to Red Bull. You won't see those anywhere else. Recently, the Flying Bulls were over in the UK, for those listening here, at Duxford and a couple of other air shows, I believe. And that's what they're primarily used for, is marketing for Red Bull. It's getting the Raging Bull sort of out there, showing the logo in places you wouldn't expect it to see, but also preserving these wonderful aircraft in the best condition that you can see them. They are spotless throughout. So they're both 48 scale in the Revell range, and they'll come as a gift set, so they'll come with some paints and glues. The Cobra will be moulded in black, and the Corsair will be moulded in a sort of bluish colour to try and match what's there on the screen, as you say. So, yeah, they're both coming out at, I believe, €39.99, which will be around that in pounds in the UK if you're buying one. That's it on the Flying Bulls, really.
And there are only 3 or 4 Corsairs in Europe flying, and I guess 15 in total. And Miguel Hochleitner, one of the Flying Bull pilots, says that it's still a dream come true for him to fly this aircraft.
Yeah, it's as you say, the Corsair is a really rare aircraft to see in Europe. There's one in particular that's not flying in the UK that is probably the most original Corsair in the world, and that's at the Fleet Air Arm Museum in Yeovilton. And they've done some amazing work with that where it's still in its original paint. So they were able to strip back multiple layers of paint to get it into its sort of wartime service scheme.
Wow.
And if you look at pictures of it, it's incredible. The work they've done is so meticulous. It's something to behold when you're there.
Cool. Then we have, we already teased it a little bit, the BAE 146, which is still on the water, as you said. But here we can show a little bigger picture. And I found out that it was the Whisper Jet. It was called the Whisper Jet when it came out because it was the quietest jet.
Yeah, it's a very quiet thing, and there's still some that come into Riyadh, an air show in the UK every year, sort of in their RJ version, and they're incredibly quiet. And the engines that they use, although they have 4, they are tiny. So they're still about. For a long time, they were in the UK. They were used out of London City Airport because of the sort of performance requirements to get in and out of that airport, and also, I suppose, noise is a factor. When it was in British Airways service, so I'm sure it served plenty of roles like that across the continent as well. Yeah. So as I mentioned at the start, it's in the Air UK livery, which means it has a big Union flag on the back to herald my arrival at Revell. It was quite ironic to put that out as one of the first products. As I say, it's still on the water, so it should be with us soon. And then we also have the Lynx, the 7-second Lynx, which is originally a Matchbox tooling that's been modified by Revell back in the early 90s. I believe it was modified because the Matchbox was based on the prototype Lynx with sort of 3 windows rather than the sort of the one on the main side doors, and some other items as well. So we've re-released that in a German marking, very early German markings. It's a bit different to the 30-second Lynx we spoke about a couple shows ago, which was the sort of more modern Lynx, the one that's about to leave service with the German Navy. This is how it entered service. So before it had different nose cones, different engines, it's almost the original. So it's the Mark 88 rather than the Mark 88A.
And then, last but not least, we have the BV222. Tell me a little about this one here.
Well, it's a huge flying boat, and I say huge. I've just been checking the instructions, in fact, and the amount of plastic in the box is quite something. One of the problems that we had with the BV222 is that there's no undercarriage because it's a flying boat. There's no wheels, and it's something that the previous releases had a problem with as well. Because how do you display that? You almost have to build a stand to display it. Otherwise, it just leans over onto one of its floats. So the BV222 is unique to Revell at this scale at 7 seconds. As I say, it's a big thing. Back in the war, they were captured by the Americans and the British towards the end of the war in Norway. One of those we've actually portrayed in the box. So we have the American captured scheme as well as a German scheme. And during those flights, what I found interesting was the pilot or sort of the commander from the Allies would be using a German flight crew because no one else would know how to fly it. So you were taking your hands into your own life because you're flying with essentially POWs, people that have been captured.
Yeah.
But I suppose once they're up in the air, they equally want to get down in one piece as much as you do. In fact, there's one BV222 currently at the bottom of the seabed, or at the bottom of a fjord, I believe, about 300 meters down, and there were some discussions about trying to recover the aircraft. It became too expensive, I believe, as you can imagine. Recovering such a big aircraft from the bottom of a lake or the sea is a huge undertaking. But the BV222 obviously has 6 engines as well, each of which you can show exposed on the model. So you can have floats up and down, and there's a couple of different options for turrets and various things on the BV222. So Yeah, that's my piece on that one. Really, it's a big old chunk of plastic. So make sure you clear enough space on the side of your windowsill or on your display case when you buy it. I remember having one on my desk back in Germany and wanting to get rid of it from my desk and give it to the guy who takes it to the shows as soon as possible because I needed to start building something else.
I would say we are through with all the things flying. Okay, thanks, Luke. Have a great time in Telford. And we talk again in November, I would say.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me again.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
So, after talking to Luke, I'm here with Jürgen again after talking about everything that flies, we are talking about everything that's moving on the ground and rolling. Before I switch to the models we are talking about, I wanted to ask you as well, Jürgen, do you know something about if there are some changes regarding the boxes, our boxes planned, because that's a topic that the community is talking about after every episode. Some are saying the side opening boxes are better, others say the top opening boxes would be better. Is there anything on top of your mind that you could say about that?
Yeah, it's well, at a certain dimension we already have bottom and separate top box, but the standard size will still be kept in the form as we have it now, so opening from the side. It has several reasons, especially also for printing. It's a little bit easier to handle also. But if you would like to have the box as a kind of storage item, and do not want to open it on the sides, just turn it upside down and then cut out a frame or an area so you have access to the inside and always can put on the frames you do not need anymore as a form of storage area. So the front with the illustration is not affected, but you still can use it in the same purpose and the same intention as you have a separate box. So it's a very simple solution.
So it's a DIY like model building hack, and you just build your own top opening box. That's
create your own
clever.
Individually demanded box. Yes.
Ah, yeah, that's a nice tip. I wouldn't have thought about that. And another comment that was made under the last two episodes was regarding the license plate. So some people say the license plates often are not in the right format, or sometimes the car is newer and have older license plates, which could be realistic. Then sometimes there are older cars that have really modern license plates in several regions or countries, like in the UK or in Belgium or in France or in Italy. And sometimes they have, like if you have the Lamborghini Countach LP500, then you have a 500 on the license plate. Some people like it, some people don't. They want just a regular license plate. Is that something you discussed in the product development team?
Yeah, we got the information that, for example, as you mentioned before, let's say the Shelby GT500, the 500 appears also in, or let's say on the French decal, on the Italian decal, and so on. We will change it for the next items to come. So it will be a more, let's say, common license plate, in this case, instead of 500, 400, name it, 21, 24, whatever. So it will be more license plates which you normally can see on the street. And depending also on the item, it's sometimes if it's a modern car, you have the modern license plates, as you know from today. But if it was a car from, let's say, the 60s, it could be also that we have nostalgic license plates on it.
And those who are watching now, please put in the comments how this is handled by the officials in your country. Because, for example, if you buy a Porsche 911 in Germany, then the dealership normally ask you if you want to have a license plate with a 911 on it, for example. So you would get your favorite license plate if it's still available in your town. Then the dealership would go to the office, the license plate office, and ask for example, the 911 in the German license plate. Maybe that's something you won't get in some countries. I don't know. So you could write it in the comments down below how it's handled in your country. Would interest me.
It differs from country to country. So there's no common regulation in the European Union. And in some cases you can get kind of individualized license plate, but then you have to pay extra for it. And if it's just a common one, you might have a choice to choose a number, but it depends if it's free or not. If not, then of course you are forced to take any one which will be offered to you.
Yeah. Okay, so after we cleared this up, we jump to our first product, the Stranger Things Volkswagen T3 Bus or Bulli, as we call it in Germany, the Surfer Boy Pizza Wagon. What can you tell us about this product?
It is a car which is basically, or let's say in a little bit different. That car base is on an existing toolkit in the past from the Volkswagen T3, but we added some specific parts which are unique, or let's say, appear and are very important in the Netflix series Stranger Things, such as the surfboard on top and the fixation by two, let's say, kind of struts. And in front, there's a small black grille under the main grille as well. And we also changed, for example, the bumpers, considered the correct license plate in size and position. And inside we considered also a small bag for the pizzas, as well as the typical blanket in blue, white and red.
And does it have an MPH speedometer? Or those are the decals then, right? That are going into the dashboard.
Yeah.
And is it hard to alter the model after that? Did you build completely new bumpers, or did we have the US bumpers from a past model kit?
There were or are some elderly bumpers existing, but we created new ones, and we developed them in a form that it's not or no difficulty comes up in assembling. So we adjusted the parts in that way that it's very simple and easy to assemble to the model. So the consumer itself or the fan doesn't really notice or face a problem when assembling the stuff.
Okay. And I mean, that is a perfect model for people who are fans of Stranger Things, but haven't built a model yet. Is it difficult to put together, or on which level is it?
No, assembly is not difficult. We also offer the chance or the option, to, let's say, drill holes, for example, on the roof to get the base of the surfboard assembled to the model by location pins and holes. But the choice is also cut off the location pins and simply bring it flat on the roof. So how the model builder wants to have it. So we offer two ways, which makes it even simpler for the model builder. It can be done also by persons who are not skilled or did not have to do a lot in the past with model building. And of course, our main target was to realize the car as it appears in the very famous series on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's well known from Argyle, the driver, best friend of the main character, of one of the main characters, and very important in season 4. And Argyle is very chilled and very, a person of, let's say, character which can easily be liked because of his attitude and his behavior.
Yeah.
And of course, we put always attention to the details, which also came up in the series. What maybe one does not notice, the decoration on the side also changed a little bit. So you have one's phone number, which changed to the next season. So all these kind of minor things are also considered on the vehicle. And it's, on the series, there are about 3 different cars which are used. You don't notice as a viewer. And then, of course, when you do the cut, you do not notice the differences. But we paid attention to the main car and realized what you know and can see in normally in the series.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for me, I mean, I have driven a Volvo 740 for like 12 years. So these boxy design, I love it. My first car was a Jetta Volkswagen from the same series, the same boxiness. And I really love the design still. So I would rather buy a T3 than a T2, even though most people like the T2, which is the hippie Samba bus. And for me, a bully is always this one. Like, this is the perfect car, I think. Yeah, and I thought I was really clever when I picked out our next product for October, which is the 69 Camaro Z-28, because I just read in our Excel sheet that there's also coming a Stranger Things Camaro Z-28, and I thought it might be an alteration of this one, but Jürgen just told me no, that's a completely different car.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
Z-28, which is driven by Billy Hargrove. But that is not the same decade.
Yeah.
And therefore it looks a little bit different. So the design changed a little bit. So it's not exactly the same car. The same type for sure, also from Chevrolet. And this item you have on the screen, the orange one, is in 1:12 scale. And what we will bring out in for Netflix, Stranger Things, is also in 1:25. So different car.
So this one is in 1:12. So that is going to be a big.
The length
model,
is about 40 centimeters.
Yeah.
So it needs a little bit space on the table. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So what can you tell us about the model of the Z-28 here?
It's been an elderly tool which was produced in the past by our colleagues from USA. And it was not released in Europe for several years. So it was very hard to get, at least not more than 20 years, not on the European market. So very hard to get. Big scale, it just says in this scale about 170 parts, so it's quite easy to assemble. There was one point in the instruction sheet where you could make a mistake that was solved the problem by creating the new current instruction sheet. And the car itself was, of course, quite impressive in this size. And you can see a lot of details. Assembly makes a lot of fun, so yeah, it's just a recommendation for those who are interested in the American cars. I'm pretty sure it will create a lot of interest.
And it's a really typical transitional design, I think, between the end of the 60s and the beginning of the 70s, when the quite round design from the 60s switched over to more clear lines. It's a really, really beautiful car, and I love this orange with the white stripes. It's a really cool color scheme. And it was a contender to the Trans Am, right?
It's the Trans Am and the Firebird, also bigger scale model kits, and we bring out from time to time bigger scale items, especially for the collectors who are looking for a little bit bigger model kits. and give them a chance to start also kind of collection.
And the 69 version was the model that was sold. It was on his Zenith when it was sold. It started really low in 1969 with 600 units sold. Then in 68 it went up to around about 7,000 units, and in 69 this model was sold around 20,000 units, which was the most it was sold in a year.
Yeah, it's also related to some advertisement, and it appeared also in some movies.
Yeah.
And it became far more popular than in the beginning, and therefore the increase in sales as well.
Yeah.
So it needed to become more famous, more well-known, and that, of course, boosted also the sales of the original one.
Yeah. And I researched that it was used as a pace car in the Indy 500. They used the SS version of the Camaro, but the badge was still the Z-28 on the car. So if one would like, you could also build a 69 Indy 500 pace car from it.
It's already on the market. Sales have started.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure demand will be quite high. So I really would suggest, if somebody is looking for it as a kind of Christmas gift, she should take now the chance to buy it and not to wait too long.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it might have disappeared from the shelves.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have our last wheel product in this category, which is something, which you could see often on the highway to hell. I guess it's the AC/DC tour truck in the version of the Power Up tour that finished this year in summer in 2024. And I read about rumors that maybe AC/DC is going to play some more shows in 2025 as well. But what can you tell us about the tour truck here?
Yeah, and the Power Tour, which you mentioned, started in late spring. We looked for a version which is very simple to assemble, so that the fan also has a chance to create a very good result and put the stuff into the shelf. So most important for us was to have the cabin decoration and to make it in a form that the fan of AC/DC can realize a very good result. To create his own fan product, even if he is not so skilled, does not have to, has not that experience on model building in the past. The scale is 1:32, so it's not so extreme large.
Yeah.
And of course it needs a little bit space, but it's not that big that it's really consumes up the complete shelf.
Yeah. What is the base of the truck? Is it a Peterbilt or Freightliner, or what is it?
Canvas, as far as I know.
Canvas. Yeah.
I would have to cross-check it actually.
Yeah.
And it was important to us when we created it to make sure it's not difficult, that really nearly everybody can build it, and of course has the very actual, very currently known decoration on it.
Mm. What is the most difficult part of this one? What would be some tips for somebody who has never built a model kit yet and says, wow, that's cool, I want to have this one and build it? What should they prepare for?
It's actually not really hard. I mean, what I can suggest is always, before gluing stuff together, take the part and put it together to see how it fits to each other. Is there any problem, whatever, just to see how the parts fit to each other. Is there any problem, whatever, and to see where it has to be glued together. But in general, it's so simple. There shouldn't be a very big problem coming up now.
Yeah.
What needs a bit to practice is the decal decoration, because decal is put into water for several seconds. And then it has to be brought on the surface, but where you bring it on, it's always very flat, so very easy to do.
Yeah, and since you put it in water, you can move it around on the surface quite
Exactly.
easily until it dries, and then it sticks, of course. But until it starts drying, you have the chance to correct any errors if you
Exactly,
put it,
because of having water between the decal and the model itself, you can still move it a little bit, shift it, bring it from A to B. That of course helps. And it's really a question of training.
Yeah, it's a great gift. I think, especially now that we are nearing the Christmas season, it's a great gift for friends to get something different, as well as the Stranger Things for the bully. It's great if you know that somebody is a fan of the series, for example, and want to get them into some activity and DIY activity over the holidays. It's a perfect gift. Okay, so that would be it. Thanks, Jürgen. And I would say until our November edition.
Okay, it was nice to talk to you again, and you're welcome to see. Looking forward to see you again in a couple of weeks. Okay, see you then, and have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.
And now I'm joined by Mo. He will introduce himself in a second, and we are talking about a topic that is quite typical for Germany, but for other countries as well. But I think Revell mastered a little niche here. And Mo, how about you introduce yourself? What are you doing at Revell, and what are we talking in this segment of the show?
Hello together. Yeah, my name is Mo. I am the product manager for mainly RC products. So that means everything what is controlling by remote control. Yes. And I'm also the product manager for all Adventskalender, and this is what we want to talk about today. The typical German topic during Christmas.
Yes. So maybe not all of you who are watching know or are familiar with the concept of an Adventskalender. Maybe you can explain it in 3-4 sentences what this is about. I researched a little bit and saw that it was invented in somehow 19th century in Germany. Yeah, to shorten the waiting time and to remember and prepare for Christmas.
So first of all, let me explain what is an Adventskalender for our international audience. The Adventskalender is used here in Germany, especially during Christmas or only for Christmas, starting with day 1 of 1st of December until 24th of December. Because on 24th, and you know it better than me, Alex, what is on 24th of December?
Then it's Christmas. Then it's when we get the gifts.
So it means during this time, from the beginning until the end, until Christmas, you have to build step by step every day, one step to achieve such an item like you can see here in the back. But that means you have to build up your product step by step, beginning from day 1 of Christmas until the last day of Christmas, when all kids get the gifts. It is a kind of bridge until you achieve Christmas.
You get from 1st of December, the kids the normal advent calendar is with little doors for each day where chocolate, where a piece of chocolate or piece of candy is behind the door. I think the first commercial was with chocolate, and I think the first from the idea to have something for the whole December to open a little door every was with pictures. There were little pictures from the
or something
Christmas
like that.
story behind it.
But I'm pretty sure, and this is for sure, I can tell it for sure, that Revell was the first company who made an advent calendar for an RC product. This is for sure. This is for sure, and not because I'm the product manager for this category, because I know it already.
Yeah.
This we were one of the how to say the pioneer of the RC Adventskalender. This is for sure.
And that's a lot of fun. So you build your model, or you build your RC product, your RC car or your RC helicopter, starting from 1st of December, and every day you get a little piece or several. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 pieces, right? But you have one step every day where you can take 5 to 10 minutes and build on your project. And when you reach 24th of December, then you have a fully built model.
Absolutely right. Yes. And the good thing is, especially for Adventskalender, you have the whole day to concentrate on one step. So that this is also something special, and this is only this is a luxury for an Adventskalender. So that means if this step 7, for example, or step 8 is a little bit more complicated, you have the whole day to take your time to think about it, to make it correctly. So that's only, this is also one good thing on the Adventskalender. So that means even the mistakes during this period is very, very, very less.
And the great thing is it's great for beginners. So you can all the products are for beginner friendly, are level 2 or 3, I think. So you can start even with kids, and it's a wonderful project to do every day a little piece of building your model through whole December together with grandchildren or your children, and they're looking forward to it. I remember when I built the X-Wing drone with my daughter. She was 3 or 4 back then, and she was crazy about every day getting the next piece out, and of course she wasn't able to build it herself back then, but to do it with me and build on this thing and seeing it flying after almost 4 weeks of building was a great achievement. It was really, really cool for both of us.
And very important, our Adventskalender is more healthy than the chocolate Adventskalender, if you want.
Yes. It's for us. It's a kind of tradition. We always have 2 Adventskalenders for our daughter. One with an activity. Last year it was one of those escape room calendars. So with that she can start the day with thinking. And the chocolate one she gets only in the afternoon, so that she doesn't start the day like with a sugar rush right from the start.
Yes. And plus, all our Adventskalender, it is when we are talking about Adventskalender, especially in the model kit range, we are talking about a big box including all the accessories that you need.
Yes.
So that means you don't need to buy some extra accessories or some knife or whatever. Everything is including this box.
Yeah.
So that means even step by step you will get, for example, the cutter, you will get some colors, especially, of course, some special colors for the item only, and all these things, brush, everything is including this packaging. So that means when we are talking about the Adventskalender and the model kit range, you will have all the accessories. And in the meantime, when we are talking about RC Adventskalender, even in this calendar, you will have everything what you need to have by Christmas a fully package of your items. So that means including batteries, including the remote control, screwdriver. So everything what you need to finalize the item, even for RC or for model kit, you will find including our Adventskalender. No extra costs.
I would say I just share my screen. We start with the Audi RS e-tron GT, which is a great model by itself already. And look at this box. I mean, this is like a Christmas present you get on 1st of December. The boxes are so beautiful and huge.
Yeah, because this is the first impression. When you are going to the stores, the first impression is the box.
Yeah.
So that's why we want to create, especially for Adventskalender, something special during Christmas. Christmas is a month of love, of happiness. So that means for us it is very important when the customer see this kind of packaging, he becomes a kind of happiness feeling, if you want. And this is what we want to achieve with our great looking advent calendar, to be honest. This is a level 2 item, so very easy to build. So it is also for kids starting 8 plus, easy to build. It's a click system, so that means you don't need any glue for this item. And you will have around 5 color boxes to finalize your special design, if you want.
Yeah, if you are an experienced model builder,
If you want.
you can go totally crazy on this model.
Yes.
But if you are starting out with a kit, then it's a great entry point for kids.
Absolutely.
And
Then the next one.
Yeah, the next one is not only for Bond fans,
Not.
but it's one of the most beautiful cars ever built. So that is something that everybody should have on the shelf. In 2022, James Bond had his big 60 years anniversary, but Goldfinger came out 60 years ago in 1964.
And especially during the Christmas time, you will find a lot of different episodes and different movies of James Bond in total. So that's why it is absolutely the right item for Christmas. So, and even here you will find everything what you need to build such a model, like you can see it here on the screen, including this packaging.
That's a level 3, right?
This is even this is a level 2 item.
Also level 2.
It's an easy click item, yes.
Nice. Okay. And then an evergreen, which is interesting for all model builders all the time and movie fans, is some Star Wars models. This 3 pieces, 3 spaceship set. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. When we are talking about movies, about evergreens, like you already mentioned, then of course we are talking about Star Wars. And even here, Star Wars fits perfectly to Advent Calendar. So that's why we created an Advent Calendar, including the 3 iconic models, which you will find in the most Star Wars episodes. And that's why we have it also here.
Yeah.
So 3 different models, including 1 packaging and including all the accessories to achieve this, to achieve these models, like you can see on the screen. Yeah.
And then we have something for the kids, which is a really special license, I would say, because Claas, the manufacturer for those tractors, is neighbor almost
It's kind of a neighbor here, yes.
It's in East Westphalia in our region here, and it's one of the largest manufacturers of farm vehicles. So this is the first RC product we have here, right? You built this tractor?
Yes, absolutely. Now we are switching to Revell control. So even here we have 24 steps. So that means you have to build starting with the chassis, for example, and then you have to build everything on the chassis step by step, day by day until Christmas. And I don't want to tell you what is the last day of course. This is a surprise for you. But on Christmas, you will have a complete remote item with everything you need to control it. And it's really very easy to build and very easy to use. So that means even here we are talking about an advent calendar for kids starting 8 plus, maybe 6 plus. So it depends. Of course, with some supports from the parents, from the mother or from the father. So it's of course for some days they need your help. It's not a must, but maybe.
Yeah.
So therefore we have 1 Claas advent calendar. Yes.
Yeah, and the other ones we have, for example, this helicopter, which is
classic. This is also an evergreen. This advent calendar or a similar advent calendar was one of the first RC advent calendar in the toy industry. It's an evergreen, and it's very easy to build and even very easy to fly. Even this is a helicopter.
I still find it so fascinating. I mean, building a tractor that is a really substantial, big, massive vehicle in reality as well, but these fine propellers and really fine structure of an helicopter, to build it by yourself and see it flying after 4 weeks, that's really cool.
Yes, and Alex, we are talking about RC Adventskalender experience. We are talking about more than 10 years experience of RC Adventskalender. So that means also for us, and especially also for me as a product developer, it was also a kind of a trainee to get this perfect Adventskalender since, let me say, since the last 6-7 years. So our first Adventskalender, to be honest, our first RC Adventskalender was an Adventskalender with some, let me say, with, I want to find the perfect word to explain. So it was a kind of challenge to find or to achieve this helicopter. We have some filigrane parts, but nevertheless, it is still very easy to use, because we have, during the production, we have checked all these kind of quality issues to solve it during the last 10, or let me say 10, 12 years. So it is not our first RC Adventskalender. So that's why when we are talking about Revell RC Adventskalender, we are talking about high quality RC Adventskalender, even with small and filigrane parts.
And the next one is one of the crawlers, right?
It is a crawler. Even here, you will have a very, very, very easy to build crawler, and including all the batteries, very easy to build. Like already, very easy to build, and it's the same. Let me say it's the same quality like our helicopter.
Yeah. And the last one that we are showing today is this one here.
Yeah, we
that
call
looks
it,
really
this
cool.
is our Christmas driver.
Yeah.
Because this item, when you build it, and when this item is already finished, it will, here we have a special body, a complete illuminated body. So that means it will light like a Christmas tree.
Nice.
The body.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we call it, this is our Christmas driver.
Yeah.
Very easy to build, very fast item. And even for 6+, it's workable.
Yeah.
So that means a perfect gift for Christmas.
Yeah. Cool. If you want one of those products, and if you want to get this experience of building one of our models or RC products over the course of December, starting from 1st of December, and you order it now, I'm pretty sure that in most places, at least in Europe, maybe in the world, you will get the thing on time. And I can also say, I talked to Mo about this in our German podcast last year. I guess I asked him, and nobody judges you if you get the Adventskalender and start building it in one day. So you said that sometimes our great colleagues from the service department get questions about pieces in the calendar that are much too early in December. Because some people can't wait. And
starting in September, to be honest. Starting in September. So that's. But I can understand this.
Yes.
Because to be honest, if you are a child and you have such a great product in your room, you cannot wait day by day and beginning of December if you get it in September. Because most of the Adventskalender are already in the shelves, especially here in Germany, in September.
Yeah.
So that means in September we are starting to bring out all the Christmas items in the stores.
Yeah.
So that's why some of our service questions are starting in September, right?
Yeah. Alrighty.
thanks for your time, Mo. And we hope lots of you would like to build one of those things in December in the build up for Christmas.
And if you have any question, you can ask whenever you want.
You write them down in the comments if you have questions.
Yes,
about it.
write it down in the comments. It's also write it. If you have any questions, write it down in the comments, and we will come back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, I will get them to Mo. Thank you, and maybe we see us again in the next episode before Christmas, or in I think in the one of the episodes in the new year. Let's see.
Alex, I'm ready for you. Always ready for you.
And it's always fun talking to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.